One issue that attracted a lot of criticism in 2019 was President Buhari's many trips abroad. Those who have taken a stand against President Buhari on this score view the trips as a waste of taxpayers' money. Others have defended the trips as good for Nigeria's image and a plus in the country's efforts to solicit direct foreign investment needed for development growth. Team Moyo Thomas reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari's frequent trips abroad have attracted censure from many who believe he need not be at most of the meetings nor honor all invitations. President Buhari traveled at least 16 times in 2019, and in summary, his trips were: April 1st, the president was in Senegal for the swearing-in of President Macky Sall. April 4th to 6th, the president attended the meeting in Jordan on improving economies of African countries. April 7th to 11th, he attended the 9th Dubai Investment Conference. April 13th, he was yet again on the road for a meeting in Chad of Sahel countries. April 25th to May 5th, President Buhari's private visit to the United Kingdom. May 15th to June 5, he was in Saudi Arabia for the Lesser Hajj. June 30 to July 2nd saw the president attending the Organization of Islamic Countries meeting. July 6th, the president was in the Niger for the Niamey EU meeting on commerce. July 26th, he was in attendance of the Liberia Independence Day. August 25th to 30th saw the president in Japan for the meeting on Japan-Africa relations. September 16th, President Buhari attended the ECOWAS meeting on terrorism in Burkina Faso. September 25th to September 30th was an official visit for the 74th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. October 2nd to 3rd, meeting with South African president over xenophobic attacks. October 21 to 23rd, Sochi, Russia. October 28th to 31st, Saudi Arabia Investment Conference. November 3rd to 17th, personal visit to the United Kingdom. December 10 to 12, Peace and Development Forum in Egypt. These trips, according to supporters of President Buhari's government, were very necessary.
President travels unnecessarily. Each time the president travels, he travels for a purpose. And I'm sure these travels are travels that are in the interest of the country. No leader would like to leave his country, but when you travel, okay, can you name any travel that you think is unnecessary in the first place? What is the last travel for in Malabo? Was it not to attend the meeting of gas-producing countries? Are we not a gas-producing country? In fact, Nigeria is considered to be more of a gas-producing country than an oil-producing country. And therefore, we should be at the table where decisions about gas will be taken. So I think every travel the president of Nigeria undertakes is in the interest of the country.
Those who remain skeptical cite the president's visit to South Africa as an example of what little effect his trips have had. They argue that despite promises made and the MOU signed for mutual bilateral relations, attacks on Nigerians have continued.
By every means, those trips are not justified. There's no need for the president to be driving our foreign policy. We have a foreign minister. He's the minister for petroleum as well. You can drive petroleum and supervise the rest, but you can't drive foreign policy as well. We don't need him everywhere. And many times it's just to go to those cities and just sit down, because the truth is that Nigeria has actually reduced itself to almost nothing in global circles. They don't even want to know our opinions anymore.
Whomever is in the seat of authority in the villa has to anchor his foreign policy on the foreign policy objectives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as enunciated in paragraph 19 of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
While President Buhari has been on about 79 foreign trips since he became president in 2015, his predecessor, President Olusegun Obasanjo, made about 139 foreign trips between 1999 and 2007. Other presidents like Umaru Yar'Adua, Goodluck Jonathan had their fair share of foreign trips.
Foreign policy could be conducted as we know it, maybe at the people-to-people level, there's interaction, interfacing. It could be taken up at the level of the departments in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It could be taken up also at the level of ministries, and it could be at the summit level. Mr. President gets involved once it is at the summit level.
If the 2020 budgetary provisions for the president's foreign trips is anything to go by, then there are many more trips in 2020 than 2019. As 1.75 billion naira has been set aside for the president's foreign trips in 2020, as against 750 million naira budgeted in 2019. It is pertinent to mention that attracting foreign direct investors is very crucial at this point. The president recently acknowledged that funds derived from oil proceeds, Nigeria's major revenue earner, are grossly inadequate for provisions of infrastructure such as roads, hospitals, power and electricity. He does explain why Nigeria must strive to be on good terms with many nations in a search for funds that will transform its landscape. Moyo Thomas, TVC News, Abuja.